If my daughter came to me with something like that, I'm not going to blow it off as impossible. I'm going to investigate it. And if it's true, then God help the person that did it, because that's what they're going to need. What it do, YouTube? I'm Ricky.
And I'm Ricardo. And finally, the Rick has come back to YouTube.
It's been a while, but time stops for no one and life does get in the way, but here we are. Now, normally we don't partake in YouTube drama, but recent events with a certain YouTube superfan that dodged an extremely significant bullet and was subsequently crucified by the internet world made this particular aspect of social media interesting to us. Now, if you watch family channels on social media, then it's very likely you're familiar with the Ace family. Well, Austin McBroom, the patriarch of that family, has a brother named Landon who has, or rather had, a family channel of his own with his girlfriend Shyla. Well, they've broken up and it's become very messy.
Whoa. I'm gonna stop you right there, bro. We're not getting into this tea shit.
And I know that. Can I finish the introduction?
Go right ahead. You walking that line.
Noted. This is not a tea channel, nor is this a tea video. But if you want to get caught up on all the tea and get a full timeline of what's going on, there are some really good channels that go into detail about all of it. There's Sloan, who's really good at this. Def Noodles, Spill Shish, the Chisme Report, and Atozi. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But we're going to focus on is Landon's response video to Shyla's video, who brought all the receipts about certain aspects of their relationship and recent events concerning their channel, their finances, and their daughter. Okay, we're not going to break down his entire video as it was an hour long, but there are 4 things shown and mentioned in his video that was very troubling. Now, either these other channels didn't notice it or they just didn't mention it, but we're going to discuss it today. You ready?
Why you always ask me that as if I have a choice?
Point taken. Okay, first thing, and this is Breakup 101. It's unfortunate that I have to present this as truth, but it is what it is. Okay, in the event of a messy breakup or even a divorce, cardinal rule number 1 is that you do not try to convince the public that the woman is crazy or has some sort of mental issues. Okay, it's okay for everyone else to do it, but you do not initiate that, especially as a defense of something she has accused you of.
Wait a minute now. Every man has a right to defend himself if he's being publicly accused of something.
And I get that, but if you formulate your defense around the fact that she's crazy, it'll never end well for you. Even if she is indeed mentally unstable, if you try to prove that, the best you can do is put together what amounts to a clip show of videos, text messages, audio, DMs that will most definitely be seen as taken out of context.
So now it's time to show you guys, unfortunately, who the real aggressor was. I'm about to show you guys a series of clips that I'll go more into detail in this video.
And even if you do put it in context, I can pretty much guarantee that the internet public will say, okay, maybe she's a bit unstable, but what did you do to make her that way? There's no way to successfully prove her crazy if you can't prove yourself perfect. It's a shame that that's how the internet world works, but again, it is what it is. You're burning your house down to kill a spider here, and it never ends well for the man.
Okay, so if a chick comes at a dude with a knife, he's supposed to say nothing?
I didn't say that. If you happen to catch that on camera and you want to make that public, then you must put it up in its entire context, beginning, middle, and end. Again, it will be seen as you clipping out the bad parts, but you don't need to instigate that.
You do realize that an untold percentage of domestics are women against men,
that.
Right?
I'm not saying do nothing and remain quiet. I'm saying that if you want the public to think she's mentally unstable, it's not up to you to try to prove that. Put your evidence out there in full context and let the public themselves determine whether she's unstable or not. Believe me, not actively trying to prove she's unstable and letting the public determine that works. Just ask Ethan Klein and Trisha Paytas.
Fair enough.
All right, that's going to become way more clear when you hear the rest.
All right, number 2.
Okay, so Landon, Shyla, and both their mothers had a meeting where allegedly they were going to hash out how everything was going to be divided in the breakup. Well, that meeting was secretly recorded. In this video, Landon claims that his videographer, Joe, set up her camera under the blanket, meaning for his protection. Meaning Joe recorded it for Joe's protection.
Joseph knew that because this meeting that we already planned, that he already knew was going to happen, he knew that every time we have some serious situation like this, we would always ask him to watch Soul or walk her or whatever it was going to be. So thankfully, again, so thankful that he recorded himself. Here we go.
So Landon made it seem like the thing never existed, but that's complete bullshit.
And I'm sure you're going to tell us why, Detective.
In the video that Landon showed, Joe took the baby daughter out for a walk while they had the meeting. So why would Joe even need protection if he wasn't even there?
Well, the dude did get accused of kidnapping before his meeting took place, and now he's being trusted to take the girl for a walk.
And B, Landon wore a microphone. When he was adjusting his blankie, you can hear the contact with the microphone.
Shyla, she's not doing anything at this point. She's only giving facts. Shyla, you need to calm down. She's not doing anything at this point. She's only giving facts. Shyla.
So there's no way that he didn't know that meeting was being recorded. And he probably told his mother, which means that both of them were on their best behavior and triggered Shyla into certain reactions.
So they set her up with a video.
Yes, it is a big deal because in the state of California, it's an all-party state, meaning that everyone being recorded must give consent. Otherwise, that video is illegal. Like 1 year in prison illegal. And I'm pretty sure Shyla didn't give consent.
Okay, so you're telling me all those prank videos are illegal?
In a sense, yes.
And why isn't half of YouTube in prison right now?
Okay, most pranks on YouTube are staged and faked anyway. So consent was given long before it was recorded and put online.
And the Karen videos, I'm sure they didn't consent to being recorded.
Well, there are loopholes.
Of course there are.
If you're in a public setting, say in a park, or under a pavilion, or even in your front yard, there is no expectation of privacy, so the need to consent is relinquished. And if you're in the commission of a crime, you don't need to give consent. And since neither one of those occurred here, that makes the video illegal. Not only that, in credence to number 1, we don't know how much of that video has been doctored, okay?
Okay.
And number 3, this was the absolute most disturbing part of this video, almost infuriating. Play the clip.
That night after the visit, she sent multiple people in my family random, outrageous, disrespectful text messages. And my aunt was one of the people to receive those text messages. Here's the text. The part that I find the strangest about that text is the fact that she basically is saying or accusing my aunt of putting hands on Celine. If someone who's worked for us for that long, has taken care of Celine that long, so has slept with Celine by herself multiple nights of her life, why would you ever assume that that same person would ever put hands on my daughter? I feel like if you could really have that thought in your mind and think for 1 second that my aunt, also the name that we both trusted this entire time, could really do that to our daughter, I think that's something that's really should be checked out and should be evaluated, because I don't think that's normal.
How can this idiot not realize that 90% of all assaults are done by people the victim knows? This dude literally said that there's no way a family member could have assaulted his daughter simply because they know each other. And when his daughter grows up and she sees this, and she will because it's been memorialized forever on the internet, what is she gonna think? How can you expect your daughter to come to you with her problems if you have this kind of mindset? If my daughter came to me with something like that, I'm not gonna blow it off as impossible. I'm gonna investigate it. And if it's true, then God help the person that did it, because that's what they're gonna need. You know what? I'm getting too worked up over this part. If it's all right with you, we're gonna move on to the last one. Okay, to conclude this video, he said this.
But the crazier part is that I did not show the worst parts of the meeting footage. I did not show you that. The reason why I am not going to show you guys the rest of this meeting footage is because what you are going to see that she did and said, you will never be able to forgive her for, ever. But I promise you, if she responds to this video with more lies, more playing the victim, then I will have no choice but to show you guys the footage.
Is that not textbook extortion? He basically said that if she responds and he will show the rest of that video, that will most certainly put her in a negative light. His illegally obtained video, mind you.
Okay, now you're reaching. For extortion to work legally, the extortionist must benefit in some way. How is Landon benefiting from it?
He's telling her to shut up or face the wrath of the rest of that video. He's using a secret video to threaten her into silence. That's extortion. If nothing else, it's gross intimidation, because he knows that she may have more dirt that can ruin him. It's no different if somebody does something to you and says, I'm going to punish you if you go to the cops. That alone would get you a nickel in prison.
Yeah, but in this case, it would be extremely hard to prove that, given their entire livelihood is encompassed by them putting videos on the internet. You saying one video can bring all that down?
One video is all it takes. Just ask EDP 445.
Point made and taken. But all of this is fringe at best. Any defense lawyer worth his salt will beat all that in court.
Not in the court of public opinion. And the court of public opinion and perception is how they make their money.
True.
So to summarize, this dude has discredited a potentially devastating event in his daughter's life and has committed 2 crimes. All the while trying to prove that Shyla is the one that's mentally unstable. Is airing out your dirty laundry on the internet worth that? Is it worth losing half your shit in the breakup, then losing the other half after you sue for breaking the law?
For the sake of clearing your name, I can't answer that.
Now, the odds of Landon, Shyla, and the rest of YouTube T community seeing this video is slim to none. But if you had a message for the couple, what would it be?
Short, sweet, and to the point. Put down the cameras. Get some counseling. Hire a real legal arbitrator, not your mama's, and hash this out the right way and not on social media. There could be a lot going on that the cameras don't catch, and I get that. But if public perception is your issue, for the sake of your child and future children, put the cameras down and go work this out like adults, not snooty kids on the playground. The both of you have issues, and social media is not going to fix it for you. A popularity contest isn't going to determine the winner of this. That's my message to them.
Fair enough. There's nothing more I can add to that. And I've challenged myself. Landon is certainly challenging himself legally. Have you? Over and out.